Polytomic is a no-code tool for syncing data between your internal systems. For this particular demo, we'll see how to sync from Google Sheets into SQL databases. Now, we are connected to a bunch of systems as it stands, and we will be syncing data from this Google Sheet here, as well as this one here, into our Postgres database up here. Now, the first thing to set up in Polytomic are data models, and all data models are lists of fields of interest from your sources. You surface them in Polytomic, and then you can sync them wherever you want. So let's do that. We'll click Add Model, choose our source system. Now we're interested in the spreadsheet, and we'll title this model Order Addresses. We'll pick the one and only tab on the sheet, and you get back a list of the columns, aka fields, in this sheet, and every field gives you an example value from your own data. You get the type, and we generate a human-friendly label that you can overwrite if you want. Now, the leftmost column is the actionable one here. This is a yes/no column that ultimately decides what fields are surfaced in a model so you can sync from them to other systems. I'll select them all, and we'll hit save. Right, so we've surfaced a few fields from a Google Sheets. Again, every field is an object. You can relabel it. You can even document it for the rest of your team. And you can see an example value. Fine enough. Let's surface more data from a separate sheet. We'll go here, and we'll call this model subscriptions as well. Pick the one and only tab on the sheet. And again, same workflow. Get a list of fields, choose the ones you want. I'll select all these guys here. You do get an optional join step as well, and this is indeed optional. You could leave it blank, but I'll fill it in because we do have an email field in this model, and this spreadsheet contains an email field as well. And so I can specify a join between these common keys despite them being disparate systems. So we'll sync from email here to email in our existing model and hit save. Right, so we've surfaced some fields here in two separate models. Let's move on now to create a sync. We'll hit create sync, choose our destination system. We'll pick this Postgres database. You can write to existing tables or create a new one. And you get three sync types to choose from. Either you update or create records, or only update existing records, or only create new records. We'll do both. Since we're updating records, you do need to specify what we call an identity field from your models. Really, this is a primary key for those who are of a more technical bent. And looking at our fields from our models, we'll pick email, which is a fine primary key. Now, once you set that, you can sync whatever you want from your models. And so we can grab city, we can grab country. In fact, we'll just grab all the fields from this model here. And let's add more. Since we've joined our models, we get access to the follow-through models through the joins. From here, we'll grab plan type and sales rep. Now, you can also set filters for your syncs. So for example, perhaps you only want to sync where email does not end with gmail.com. Now, you get a rich set of filter conditions for strings, dates, as well as numbers. I won't set any here. Otherwise, hit continue. Here you can set your sync schedule. This could be manual, where someone has to click a button to initiate a sync, or continuous, which is near real time. Anytime your sources change, updates are moved over into your database, or a particular schedule, hourly, daily, weekly, even a custom cron schedule. We'll pick hourly at 30 minutes on the hour, hit continue. And here's where you pick a table name. So let's call this new customer data. And this is a table that we'll generate on your database or data warehouse. We generate a sync name for you that you can overwrite, but otherwise verify your sync settings. And if all this looks okay, click save in the top right. And you get a warning saying that we will create a new table in your destination database, in which case you can click save and create. And so we've created a table. Now here we've created a sync where you could run a test sync, which would sync 5 random records for testing purposes, or just enable this guy. So this will run next at 7:30 a.m. Pacific, as that's where I am. And instead of waiting for your next run, you can just click sync now. So let's do that. And that's really it, right? Here we have a sync, it's created, it's running. You get a sync history, an audit log of all your syncs as they happen and as they have happened in the past, with various stats about them. And lastly, you can enter in anyone's email address to be notified of any of our error notifications automatically should they happen. And that's it. At this point, you walk away. Everything's syncing automatically. Anything changes in your sources will be moved over to the database automatically. And any models here can be constructed, whether from Google Sheets, from databases, from CRMs, even from any API endpoint. And that's it.